Hey, Bastish B for 64K and welcome to another big old countdown video.
Welcome to 64K, hosted by Bastish B.
And this video is my top 5 favorite Commodore 64 pinball games. Although the system has a massive library, the amount of digital pinball games is pretty small in comparison. I've narrowed it down to 5, but before the number 1 reveal, I'll also do some honorable mentions. And as per usual, these games are all taken from the classic era of the C64 from 82 to 93, although one of these games is an update of an early 80s classic. So without further ado, let's get on with that countdown.
Number 5.
3D Pinball was released in 1989 by Budget King's Mastertronic, sometimes also known as Pinball Power. It's a straightforward, simple approach to the subject, giving you a table but angling it into an isometric view like you'd actually have if you went to play this game at a real arcade. The game is devoid of flash, meaning there's no music or menus, just the straight up game delivered in a pretty realistic vibe, with classic era pinball sound effects. Everything about this gives a simulator feel, with a very detailed table graphically, realistic ball handling, and on-point sound effects, plus the angle isn't simply a gimmick. I really wish more games adopted this viewpoint, as it really works excellently. This game will probably rank way higher if there'd just been maybe 2 more tables. It could have been one of the best on the system overall, but as it stands, 3D Pinball is still an excellent relaxing time spent trying to beat your score or your friends. Slam Ball landed on the C64 in 1984, courtesy of US company Synapse Software. And surprisingly, this is the only pinball game here with a scrolling table, keeping close to the ball, giving you a more visceral experience than pretty much any other pinball game on the Commodore 64. Created by Stephen C. Biggs, who mainly did music in Synapse classics like Blue Max and Sentinel, got a rare shot in creating this pinball gem. The table is huge with multiple color variations as you play through it. The game's ball has a smiley face, giving it weirdly a character vibe like Whizball, as opposed to something generic, and sports pretty basic graphics and sound effects in typical 1984 style. The scrolling is extremely smooth, making going up or down the table feel like almost a little adventure game, as you find new areas of the table to explore and exploit for points. Even though the graphics look like they were made using a cheap construction kit type program, it's still a very fun pinball game that I played a lot as a kid, and it's still very enjoyable even now all these years later.
Number 3.
David's Midnight Magic was released on the C64 by Broderbund in 1983, a port of a 1982 Apple II game. It's another very simple but effective product that delivers an enjoyable time with a single multi-flipper table. The overall design of the table was said to be inspired by the Williams classic reel table, Black Knight, and you can definitely see some of the similarities here. No music as usual with these games, but it does have simple sound effects, but nothing to get very excited over. The game's ball physics feel very realistic and bounces around at a pretty fast pace. It has a 2-layered table offering enough variety in its simple design to have you playing for a very long time. This was one of the first pinball games I ever played on the C64, about the time I played Night Mission as well. It has a very good vibe, colorful, simple graphics, and overall is just a simple, good time.
Number 2.
Mechanicus was released in 1991 by CP Verlag, a free game on the German magazine Game On. The game delivers on what CP Verlag did best: take an existing game, clone it, and put in some excellent 90s C64 visuals and music. That's pretty much what Mechanicus is. What's cool here is that it's the only game here to offer multiple tables to play with 3 in total to choose from a futuristic cyborg table to an organic plant-based one, and a fantasy dragon medieval setup, each offering their own completely different design details and multiple flipper action to master. The production values here are the big winners. Each level's graphics are exceptionally detailed and well animated. The sound effects are very loud and punchy that makes every hit and ricochet feel a little bit more satisfying. The main guitar-styled SID tune is also pretty fantastic, and the controls are simple, with the main menu offering up plenty of options such as playing with sound effects and music, up to 4-player games, and obviously 3 full tables to choose whichever one you want to try out first. It's a top quality pinball game and a must play of the genre.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
let's stop this video one time over here and let me give you a few of my honorable mentions. And first up is Pinball Wizard from 1984 by Sagittarian Software. It's a very basic game with no frills, but has a weirdly slow-paced, satisfying vibe for genre fans. Micro Ball, a 1987 alternate software budget game, is just that. It's simple to the point, score chaser mechanics with a decent vibe and gameplay enough for pinball enthusiasts to get a bit of fun out of. Advanced Pinball Simulator by Codemasters from 1989 is another budget game, and another in a very long line of games the company slapped the word simulator on. It features a decent double flipper table, good menu SID music, and enough variety in the table to make it worth a look. And lastly was 1983's Pinball Construction Set by Electronic Arts, where you can literally make your own tables from scratch and basically recreate any classic era 70s or 80s table quite accurately. It's very easy to use, which is usually the opposite of this type of program in this era, and it's quite fun. A very underrated good early C64 release. And now on over to my number one game.
And number one is
Night Mission Pinball Extended was released on the C64 in March of 2024 from Extend, a C64 cracking group. It's basically almost a completely updated remake or reimagining of 1982's Night Mission Pinball. Released originally by Sublogic, a company mainly known for flight simulators like Flight Simulator 2, which was coded by Bruce Artwick, who also did Night Mission. It was originally an Apple II release before getting a C64 port, hence the black and white monochrome style graphics, although the US version did have splashes of color. For such an early C64 release, it was an impressive interpretation of pinball with a cool World War II theme and flair. I remember playing this game at my next door neighbor's house who had it. It was highly addictive. Fast forward a few decades and we have a full unofficial redo of this game to now re-enjoy on our real C64s or 128s. The group Extend has basically taken all the best elements of that game, the World War II bomber theme and military sound effects, and given the graphics of the table a completely new high-res and beautifully colored overhaul, making it brand new but still feel like the original version. It's quite an amazing job. The original version featured a B-17 bomber in the game, but those weren't technically used in World War II for night missions, so the team also historically made the game more accurate, now featuring a Lancaster bomber instead. From the gorgeous new high-res loader screen and the catchy new SID track by the Beastie Boy of Extend, the game now auto-detects your C64 setup at the start to give you the best experience. Although if you're playing through emulation, it is suggested to set your SID chip to 6581 to get the best of those really overblown sound effects. The game also now features a high score saving system, something really essential for this style of game, and still features the full fix mode, which you can access and change every single aspect or parameter of the table to your desire. The game is a free download of csdb.dk, and I'll leave a link to it in the video description. It also comes with a full keyboard instruction, so please read that before playing the game, as well as a really nice new slick PNG and PDF of the table explaining every little detail about it. It's an impressive pinball game on the C64 with a unique look and sound design, unlike anything else on the system. This new version is simply excellent. If you enjoy pinball and the C64, this is an absolute no-brainer. And that's it for the countdown. I hope you were able to hopefully find a few new games to play on your Commodore 64. Thanks for joining me, Bastish B at 64K. I hope you had a good time. And if you can, please like and subscribe. That will be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.